Oh my God, he's touching the ground. That's amazing. And notice, he's not rowing the 180s, bro. And his back's bigger than yours. I don't care who you are listening to this, unless you're Samson Dada and like 3 other people. Hey folks, Dr. Mike here for RP Strength. I've been a longtime professor of exercise and sports science. I'm a competitive bodybuilder, a competitive Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu grappler, and generally known as a person who just never got to be good looking. Even though I hoped for it as a child, I just grew up into this. Imagine staring this in the mirror every day and wondering why. Why, God? But God works in mysterious ways. And oftentimes in threes. What? Why threes? Let me tell you about great Persian kings. King Darius, King Xerxes, who you might have seen featured in the live documentary film, The 300, and the second 300 movie. Was Xerxes still alive in that? Anyway, that one girl was, you feel me? That one Persian girl, the mean one with the 2 swords and shit, and 302, she 100% get it. She's fine as hell. What the was I saying? The third great Persian king is King Hadi Choopan, as Bob Cicarella always says when he announces him at the Olympia, which Hadi has gotten to winning a few times, once I think, and always coming in absolutely absurd condition, absolutely nonsense muscularity, and I always think he just looks like the sculpture of what humans were supposed to look like. Most of us don't look like that. Today, we're going to peruse his training footage, and I do understand and fluently speak every single Persian dialect, except the one that Hadi knows, so I'll just have to read the subtitles. Let's look at what he knows. We'll make a few charitable analyses, some critiques, and let's have some fun, goddammit. 3, 2, 1. Hadi.
میرن یه چند دقیقه تردمیل میزنن و یا یه حرکت کششی رو انجام میدن میرن داخل تمرین و بعد نوع سنگین و دمبل و هالتر استفاده میکنن.
Facts. As a matter of fact, the situation with warm-ups, a lot of people have gotten in reverse, and Hadi's clearing this up for us idiots. A lot of athletes put a ton of time into what's called the general warm-up. Stretching and treadmill walking. If you do treadmill walking, if you do treadmill walking, you have to do it properly. I will say, real quick side tangent, you must have sweatpants and a full hoodie on, ideally like a hat and gloves. The hoodie's got to be one of them loop shits where you have the aperture of the face is just down to here, and you got to have headphones that each ear thing is the size of like its own stereo system, and you got to go up the incline, at least ever make eye contact with anyone. Never let anyone think that you're a decent human being underneath all that shit. You're there for wartime. So as you up the treadmill to a 1.1 grade at a 2.3 speed, you just got to be like this. And headphones, just have like, I don't know, Sam Harris on. What? In any case, people associate that whole kitsch with warming up. Getting the Bosu ball going, foam rolling everything. People really start to look at you funny. You pull out your massage gun in the middle of the gym. They're like, I've seen this in adult films. This does not end well or really well. Get your massage gun going. And that all stuff has a context. But for people that don't have prior injuries, that are relatively healthy, almost all competitive bodybuilders, the most important part of the warm-up is none of that. It is actually doing lighter sets of the first exercise you're going to be using. Typically, I like to do 3 sets. Set of 12 with roughly your 30 rep max, set of 8 with roughly your 20 rep max, and a set of 4 with roughly your 10 rep max in that exercise. And then after that, 2 or 3 minutes rest between each one. After that last set, 2 or 3 minutes rest, feel your swag a little bit. Your body's warm. Especially it's warm in the specific joints and connective tissues and muscles you're going to be using. Like you can heat up your ankles, but then do wrist curls, and it doesn't make any goddamn sense. And because you're doing, 12, 8, 4 reps, pretty bundled up, your core body temperature is going to go up. And so we get the general warm-up effect and the specific warm-up effect in exactly the same place with minimal time investment. And so I think Hadi's nodding to the fact that you got to warm up for the actual that you're doing. I have seen people do a general warm-up and then go over to the bench, put 3 plates on, and just start cranking it. I used to do that. God, I'm not missing a pec, thank God. Anyway. taught this guy flexion rows. Scott, you been to Iran recently? Teaching our over there? This is phenomenal technique. This is excellent technique for rowing. Notice how he's flexing at the spine and at the hips. That's stretching out his lower back, his spinal erector musculature. It's even stretching out and leveraging his lats and parts of his mid-back. And at the top, he pushes his tummy out and he crunches his shoulder blades together. This exercise comes close, being done right through a super crazy range of motion like he's doing. This exercise comes close to being one of the best all-around back exercises you can do. It also looks like he works at a real snazzy gym. God damn. Good to have that Mr. Olympia money, I guess. So normally I would talk some shit here because he's swinging around a little bit, but I gotta say, is it ideal that he's swinging around? Maybe not. But the way he's doing it is he is giving himself a little boost at the very bottom where the mechanical leverage is kind of the worst anyway, and there's the least opportunity to gain some hypertrophy. So typically muscles grow better when they're stressed at their longer lengths rather than shorter lengths. With this little extra jib at the end of the situation that he's doing, and the fact that he's slowly controlling that top 2/3 means he can use a heavier weight for the whole exercise, get more reps, and thus get more stimulus in that top 2/3 of the movement, which he's controlling and doing well. This would be like a f***ery show if he was doing swinging on the way down and on the way up just bouncing right back up, which most people who swing weights do that. He's actually swinging with intent in order to milk that eccentric at the very top, and he's not swinging right from the top. He's hipping in a little bit towards the bottom. If you have to cheat in a lat pull down, this is one of the better ways to do it. Oh shit, what's he wearing, fellas? That wouldn't be a VersaGrip. But hold on a second, how could it possibly be a VersaGrip? Unfortunately, this requires us to discuss politics. I know, it's terrible. But the Islamic Republic of Iran and the United States, they've gotten along better in the past. Let's just put it this way. A lot of trade embargoes, a lot of stuff you can't buy and sell one way or the other, which is why I don't typically get involved in this sort of thing. I had to pick up the phone and I had to make a few calls. One, really. I call him Joe. You guys call him President Biden. He's Joe to me. So I'm like, yeah, put me through to Joe. Yeah, it's Dr. Mike. Who the f*** you fucking new here at the White House? Yeah, I'll hold. Joe, listen, we need Hadi Choopan at his best at the Olympia. Yes, it's important. No, I'm not going to repeat myself. Yeah, I know, you're f***ing senile. Listen, VersaGrips, write that company name down. Have one of your assistants write it. Can you even write anymore? Is that joke cool or not? He's not going to get it. Oh, another one. VersaGrips. They're incredible for making sure that you never lose your grip on all kinds of back work and leg work and shoulder work in which your forearms aren't nearly as strong as the other muscles. Yes, Joe, I'm still talking to you. And you need to allow the trade embargo to not apply to VersaGrips. And yeah, I would actually call it a humanitarian issue. Yes, 5 boxes of VersaGrips, airdrop directly over to Tehran. Wonderful. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow at that Illuminati dinner party thing. Bye. That's how it went. Folks, if you want a grip assistance device that world governments are totally fine completely abandoning the embargo structure for, you want VersaGrips, there's the link for that shit, and there's a link in the description. Sorry, code, link, and yeah. And no, Joe Biden's not fun to talk to in real life. He forgets a lot. Let's go back to the video. This is like porn for range of motion fetishists at this point. Scott, did you curate this specifically for me to be like, oh yeah.
Of course.
Oh.
No one rows dumbbell like this.
And notice, he's not rowing the fucking 180s, bro. What this motherfucker got in his hand? It's like 100 or some shit. And his back's bigger than yours, I don't care who you are listening to this, unless you're Samson, Dada, and like 3 other people. Huge backs can be built with mega psychotic weights for sure. But they can also be built with relatively light weights taken to huge degrees of stretching. And that's what Hadi is doing here, and it's awesome. And with a VersaGrip on his hand, he doesn't have to worry about gripping. Problem solved. Oh my fucking God, he's touching the ground. That's amazing. Also, you'll notice he's hipping up at the top. He's leveraging up. That means the weight he can use to get that complete little mini lat contraction at the top can be a little heavier, and then at the very bottom, that super crazy stretch challenges it. So you actually challenge the muscles through a full range of motion, accommodating for the fact that they're mechanically quite disadvantaged at the top versus the bottom. This is kind of a best of all worlds. Notice he's smoothly transitioning up and down. He's not like trying to hump the dumbbell up. So you goddamn TikTokers out there, don't start pulling the 180s out and being like, I'm Hadi Choopan, I can move my body sort of row the thing. Crazy range of motion. Listen, if you can touch your one-arm dumbbell row to the ground, also look at how perpendicular his body is, parallel to the ground, perpendicular to his legs, I guess, and the vector of gravity. I tried to save that with science. I don't think it worked. That perpendicular position means he is hypertrophying a crap load of his back musculature, specifically really the lats and the upper back, which is exactly what you want to get super jacked. So this is a very good technique. A little bit more eccentric control and maybe a pause at the very bottom, but now I'm just being nitpicky, as I'm prone to do, of course.
وقتی داری تمرین میکنی با اون عضله حرف بزن.
Dude, that's so poetic. God damn, the Persians invented this shit. I love it. When you are training, talk to your muscles and ask them to become beautiful. I've talked to a lot of girls and asked them to become beautiful. They typically get hit in the face. I don't know what that's about. Ooh, if you speak badly, it will be withered and pale, even if it is a fruit. I've been called a withered and pale fruit before, though in my defense, that was after 3 days of going to Fire Island. Google that. It'll be funny after. The way I interpret this, because Persians get to talk, and first of all, Persians, you're the shit. And I mean that almost literally, because it doesn't really matter what you think you're good at. There's probably either a Persian or a Nigerian that's better than you at the thing that you think you're the best in the world at. Beautifully poetic. I'm going to regress from poetry to straight up science, so it's going to sound much less poetic, but here's the deal. This is a little hippie, a little flowery, but something there for you guys to take with you. A lot of people go to the gym, people that are very dedicated to their physiques. Why'd I point at myself? And they come from the perspective of, I'm here to improve my physique. And their brain does a few little calculations with that statement, and they end up in a thought pattern that's not ideal. Because you're there to improve your physique, it must mean that your physique is suboptimal. It's not ready for prime time. It's not perfect yet. You don't improve perfect things, you just stare at them in museums. So that means that my body is somehow without, somehow bereft, somehow ugly, somehow unacceptable looking. And there's tons of people all around the world in gyms right now, hoodied up, which I have total respect for, sometimes even in tank tops, who just don't like how they look. And between sets, they're checking themselves out. They're like, could use a little bit more muscle here, could use a bit more here. And some people stay kind of hoodied up the whole time because they don't even like to look at their bodies because they're busy making them better. The thing with that is, I feel that it's real, right? Sometimes you don't love what you're looking at, but when you're building something beautiful, you have to understand that your standard of beauty changes the entire time. You can regress back in your mind and go, you know what? 5 years ago, me would have been so fucking stoked at this shit. And especially the following point, I think, has some merit. When you're in the gym, it's an opportunity to do incredibly positive things. You're there to become more beautiful, to open up like a flower in springtime, to really engineer your most impressive physique ever. And the RP Hypertrophy app is designed to make this possible. You can customize every single aspect of your training plan, or let the app's AI take the lead. Whichever combination you use, your results will climb higher than ever. All you have to do is bring the effort. Click on the link in the description of this video to get started. When you're in the gym and you're getting your pump on, try to appraise yourself and your look positively. Have a good time. Love it, what beautiful things you're building. Love it the way your body's changing. If you have the gym as a place of body acceptance and love, then it's awesome. You just feel great. And then so your motivation to keep going back to the gym and making things better and better is amazing. You never see like an engineer who works on like super high-end exotic cars. You'd ask him after a day of work at the shop, like how was it working on the, Pagani Huayra or whatever. He's like, it's so imperfect. It's a labor. I hate it. They never say that. They're like, I love it. Time stands still when I'm working on my perfect machine. I'm making it more beautiful. Every part of it, I love it. I hate leaving work. That's how you want to feel with the gym. If you're too much into the negative self-talk and into kind of dissing yourself at the gym and be like, man, I look like shit, stay covered up, or oh, I'm so weak today, or man, my biceps just can't connect with them. I feel that energy, but it's better to flip it into positive, being like, you know what? My biceps look pretty cool. And I'm going to challenge myself to connect with them even more because they're going to look even sweeter. Guys, positivity is mega lame in some like influencer sense because it means nothing to a lot of those people. But true positivity means having a good time and putting in the work to have an even better time later. That's what the gym is all about. Negativity has its place, but at the gym, it's kind of like, ugh. And if you're going to be Mr. Olympia, you got to be a little bit optimistic about some shit, you feel me? Anyway, that's how I interpreted that. God damn, he's jacked. Scott, why don't I look like that?
Body hair.
Whatever. You guys. Folks, there is still more video to come, but if you want extra unrated, super sciencey content, I guess this is sciencey stuff also unrated? Yeah, why wouldn't it be? Then you can sign up for our members area and it's awesome and amazing and click around and do that. But first, let's finish the rest of the video. Excellent technique here. He took off his Versa grips. His grip must be really intense. God damn. Is this all from one workout?
Correct.
Holy shit, that's a lot of back exercising.
That's insane.
I assume he trains back once a week, so it kind of makes sense you need to put the volume in. Yeah. Another great movement, super big stretch at the very top. And actually, as you can probably see visually pretty close, it does stimulate and hypertrophy the long head of your triceps as well as your lats, which is dope. But if your lats look like a cow leg with veins on, I think you're doing some pretty right. Ooh, what's that? Kind of like a flexion row with that machine. That's a trip because the machine takes you away from your center of gravity at the bottom and stretches out your entire mid and lower back even more. This has to be brutal. This guy's tough, man. I'd be big a whole lot more if I did this workout. I'd be like, ay, my asthma. Great movement. You'll notice at the top, he actually has a flat back, and at the bottom, he has a rounded back. Amazing use of that bottom end eccentric to grow a ton of back muscle. This is not a fun exercise to do. Give it a shot. You'll be like, this sucks, but maybe you suck. Have you ever thought about that, YouTube viewer? That's right. How do I make sense of his front to back thickness that includes his chest and lats, fellas?
He's so wide.
What the f is going on here?
Deep, I guess.
Scott, the video guy, what would you know about wide and deep? Oh yeah, we met on Fire Island. You were quite wide and some folks were quite, I'll stop. Great full range of motion on these pullovers. I'm surprised he fits into that machine, which is really just a testament how fucking awesome Panada is. A lot of machines I don't even fit in and I'm not that jacked. Super awesome top stretch. A lot of people will do this motion and they'll just get to here and then come back down. Like, I know this is the easy part, pussy. You got to do the fucking hard part. And if you do it hard enough, maybe you'll get lat veins like Hadi over here. So this is legit. Folks, this is really fun. Hadi's the man. And yeah, the translation thing's a trip because like I'm a native Russian speaker. And sometimes the translations you see for Russian videos are like way the off. So I have no idea if we really said all that stuff, but I'm sure we have tons of Persian followers that would like to comment and say like how close the translation was. But outside of that, really awesome to see someone doing fundamentally fucking awesome training, full range of motion, really challenging, no dog shit, no weird stuff. And this is really good stuff. Hadi will be at the Olympia this year and is always a threat to win. So big ups to him, big ups to every Persian in the world and to the people of Iran, of course. And yeah. Iran. See you guys later. Whew, that was a lot of fun. Folks, right over here, YouTube has Scott the video guy with a gun pointed at his head. And it's like, if you don't click, that's right, you the user right now on this video, you just don't get any more videos because Scott's going to circle the drain. Please click. See you next time.